Before the sun shows its face, the Amazon is already awake, not with light, with breath. Warm air rises from the canopy like a slow exhale. Mist drifts between trunks that feel older than memory. Dew trembles on leaves like glass, and every droplet holds a tiny reflection of a world still hidden. You cannot see far yet, but you can hear far. A deep, rolling roar travels across the treetops. Not thunder, not wind, but howler monkeys calling from the canopy. They are not just making noise, they are drawing borders. They are announcing ownership in a jungle where land has no fences and survival has no mercy. As the horizon lightens, the rainforest begins to color in. A flash of electric blue glides through the understory, a morpho butterfly. It looks like magic, but it is strategy. Its wings flicker bright, then dark, confusing predators, turning beauty into camouflage. Above, macaws lift off in pairs, red, yellow, cobalt. Their cries sharp, metallic, defiant. Toucans hop between branches with beaks that seem impossible, like masks from a dream. But nothing here is decoration. Everything is a tool. Everything is a solution. Down near the river, the world feels cooler for a moment. The Amazon offers a gentle lie at dawn, and many creatures accept it because they must. A capybara steps from the reeds, calm and heavy, fur damp with black water. A baby follows, smaller, uncertain, ears twitching at every sound. The river looks still, but the Amazon River is never still. It is quiet, the way a predator is quiet. On the forest floor, engines start running. Leafcutter ants march along bark highways, carrying green fragments like sails. They do not wander. They execute. They are building a future, one leaf at a time. A poisoned frog rests on a fallen log, bright as a warning label. Its colors speak a simple sentence: do not touch. Predators learn that language quickly. Those who don't, do not remain in the story. High above, spider monkeys travel across the canopy in quick arcs, tails curling like extra hands. Their movement is graceful, but it is not playful. It is precise, because in the Amazon, falling is not an accident. It is a verdict. The rainforest is not one world. It is stacked worlds, canopy, understory, floor, river, each with different rules and different dangers. At dawn, all layers wake at once. Birds rush to feed before heat rises. Monkeys relocate before predators settle into position. Insects rebuild highways and traps that were broken in the night. And somewhere, always somewhere, eyes are watching. Dawn is only the opening breath. The river flashes in the growing light like a blade, and the forest makes its first decision. Today, someone will eat. Today, someone will run. And today, someone will not see the next dawn. Because the Amazon never sleeps. It only changes masks. Morning sharpens the rainforest. Mist thins. Edges become clear. Shadows become darker. And in the Amazon, clarity is danger. Mud near the riverbank records the night like fresh ink. Heavy prints pressed deep into soft earth. Claw marks. Drag lines. A silent diary of hunger. A caiman floats at the surface like driftwood. Only its eyes and nostrils break the waterline. It doesn't chase. It waits. Patience here is not passive. It is deadly. A bird steps in for a drink. One careless angle, one distracted second. The water detonates. A strike. A splash. A burst of violence that ends before the mind can fully understand it. Rule 2 of the day. Stillness can be a weapon, but the river has hunters that do not work alone. Giant otters slice through the water as a group, chirping and whistling, moving like coordinated blades. They look playful, until you realize play here is training. They push fish toward shallow corners. They take turns. They share signals. In the Amazon, teamwork is rare, and when it appears, it can become an apex trait. At the edge where land meets water, a different predator moves. A jaguar. It steps where leaves are thickest, where sound disappears. Its coat breaks its outline into gold and shadow. It does not announce itself. It makes the forest doubt what it saw. The jaguar hunts the edge because edges are crowded. Animals must come here to drink, to cross, to cool down. Crowds create mistakes. A capybara lifts its head, sensing something it cannot name. Bird calls reduce. Insects seem to lower their volume. The forest holds its breath. Above, monkeys react first. Alarm calls ripple across the canopy like an emergency network. They warn the entire jungle. Something is moving. The jaguar hears those calls and uses them. Noise warns prey. Noise also reveals prey. The cat circles, reading reactions like a map. It measures wind direction, cover density, distance to water. Then a small distraction arrives. A splash, a flinch, a half second of confusion. The jaguar decides. It moves fast. A burst of muscle and intent. A blur between trunks. Prey scatters. Birds explode upward. The river churns with sudden panic. Sometimes the prey escapes into thick vegetation. Sometimes it reaches water and gambles on the current. But the Amazon never offers only one danger at a time. Run to the river, and teeth wait below. Stay on land, and claws hunt beside you. Climb, and eyes watch above. Morning is the rainforest fully awake. A system running at speed. And the message is simple. In the Amazon, the hunt is not an event. It is the schedule. By late morning, the jungle becomes heavy. Humidity thickens until breathing feels like drinking warm air. Sunlight punches through gaps in the canopy, turning the forest floor into patches of heat. This is when the rules change. At midday, power is not measured by teeth. Power is endurance. A sloth hangs in the branches like part of the tree. It barely moves, not because it is weak, but because it is efficient. Movement costs energy. Energy is life. Predators look for motion. The sloth offers almost none. Below, the forest floor becomes a city of workers. Leafcutter ants march in endless lines, hauling green fragments into hidden entrances. They do not eat the leaves directly. They feed fungus underground farms. Agriculture inside a jungle. The Amazon's intelligence is not always large, not always obvious, but it is everywhere. A poison dart frog rests near a fallen log, bright as a warning label. Its colors draw a boundary you can see. Other boundaries are invisible. A mosquito lands silently and feeds. A tick waits on a leaf edge. A spider builds a nearly invisible web between branches. In the Amazon, not every threat arrives with teeth. Some threats arrive small and arrive slowly, and that makes them worse. The heat forces animals into shade. Monkeys pause longer between leaps. Birds lift wings to cool their bodies. Even predators slow down. because chasing in this air is expensive, and the rainforest begins preparing its release. Leaves sweat moisture into the sky. Clouds gather beyond the canopy. Light softens, turning silver at the edges. A distant rumble arrives. Not yet a storm, but a warning. Midday is the Amazon holding its breath, because after heat comes motion. After stillness comes the river's war. The river is not a road. It is not a peaceful ribbon through the forest. It is a living corridor of hunger. In the afternoon, when heat peaks and shadows shrink, water becomes the center of gravity. Animals come to drink, to cool, to cross, to hunt, and every reason can become a mistake. The surface looks calm, dark, reflective, almost still, but beneath it, the river is layered with invisible motion. A school of fish tightens into a shimmering cloud. They do not swim as individuals. They swim as one decision, because something is near. Piranhas arrive like a room of fast, reactive, drawn to vibration and weakness. They are not monsters in the way stories tell it. They are specialists in opportunity. The river rewards speed. A river dolphin rises for air and sinks again, like a secret returning to darkness. Its world is sonar clicks and echoes, mapping shapes your eyes cannot see. Here, sound is vision. And deeper still, the river hides heavier things. In a quiet inlet where roots dip into black water, an anaconda rests almost motionless, not waiting for the perfect prey, waiting for the perfect angle. It is built for pressure, for holding, for tightening, for turning panic into exhaustion. Near muddy shallows, another shadow glides, an electric eel. It can turn water into a weapon, a pulse that stuns, disorients, controls. In the Amazon, even electricity belongs to the food chain. A caiman drifts into a new position, adjusting like a silent submarine. Birds land briefly, drink quickly, leave. Everything is pulled toward water, and everything risks being taken, because the river forces exposure. On land, you can hide behind trunks and vines. In water, every splash is an announcement. A fish bursts from the surface, fleeing. Ripples spread. Predators reposition. The battlefield shifts. Clouds grow heavier. The light turns bronze. Thunder deepens. The river darkens like a bruise beneath the sky. The day is not ending. It is transforming, because soon the Amazon will turn gold. And when it turns gold, the hunters return. Golden hour in the Amazon is a beautiful lie. The light softens. The heat loosens. The forest begins to move again. It looks peaceful, but predators read this hour as opportunity. High above, a silhouette may appear still, watching, a harpy eagle if you choose to feature it. Claws, like curved knives, eyes sharp enough to read movement through a lattice of leaves. It does not chase. It calculates. A monkey pauses. A branch trembles. A sloth shifts at the wrong time. The air breaks. A descent that feels impossible. And the jungle remembers that danger also comes from the sky. Below, the jaguar moves again near the river's edge. Its spots dissolve into late light, gold and shadow. A body that appears and disappears between trunks. Prey animals sense something and freeze. Birds lift suddenly into flight. The rainforest holds tension like a stretched wire. Then the wire snaps. A sprint, a crash through leaves, a burst of wings erupting upward. Sometimes the prey escapes into thick vegetation. Sometimes it reaches the river and gambles on water. But water has its own hunters. Golden hour is the last familiar window of daylight. A last chance to feed, drink, return to shelter before night rewrites the rules. Frogs begin to call early, testing the air. Bats stir in hidden roosts, waiting for darkness to hand them the sky. As the sun sinks behind the trees, every creature answers the same question. Where will you be when the lights go out? Because the night is opening its eyes. Twilight is not a time, it is a crossing. Day, animals retreat into nests and hollows, into thick tangles of vine and leaf. But the rainforest does not become empty. It becomes occupied by a different world. Crickets begin first, steady and relentless. Then cicadas, loud enough to feel mechanical. Frogs join with pulsing calls that sound like coded messages traveling through humid air. The Amazon does not fade into night. It switches channels. Bats emerge like shadows with purpose. They build the world from echoes, measuring distance with sound you cannot hear. Insects rise near the river in shimmering clouds. And where insects gather, hunters gather too. Twilight is deceptive. Shapes blur. Distances lie. A branch can be a vine can be a body. A snake shifts in leaf litter, nearly invisible. A caiman moves closer to shore, protected by dim light. Eyes begin to shine faintly, like sparks in black water. A jaguar becomes even more dangerous now, not because it grows stronger, but because it grows invisible. And in twilight, even love becomes risky. Frogs call for mates. Those calls also attract hunters. In the Amazon, a love song can be a beacon. Still, the calls continue, because survival is not only living another day, it is continuing. Twilight ends when the final strip of sun disappears. Now the rainforest belongs to the unseen. Night in the Amazon is not quiet. It is crowded. Darkness feels thick, as if the air itself has weight. And inside that weight, countless lives begin moving at once. Insects dominate the soundtrack, buzzing wings, clicking bodies, scraping legs, dripping water. The volume becomes an ocean. A tarantula crawls across leaf litter, sensing vibration through its legs. A smaller insect stumbles into range. One quick strike, then stillness again. Near the river, caimans drift with eyes above the surface, scanning for ripples. A frog jumps. A rodent attempts a crossing. A fish disturbs the water. The caiman waits until the river gives it a mistake. Somewhere deeper in the forest, a big cat moves. Not loudly, not dramatically, almost silently. A jaguar patrols in darkness, stepping around dry leaves, using shadow like a cloak. At night, information matters more than speed. A rustle, a call that suddenly stops, a snap of a small branch. Each sound is a clue. Prey freezes, trying to become invisible. Breathing shallow, muscles locked. But invisibility is never perfect. The rainforest tightens around the moment. And when the jaguar decides, it happens fast. Yet the Amazon does not need big predators to be lethal. Mosquitoes land unseen and feed. Scorpions hide beneath logs. Snakes rest where warmth gathers. Here, danger often comes small and arrives with time. Still, life continues. Bats catch insects mid-air. Frogs swallow prey in one clean motion. Spiders repair webs, resetting traps like clockwork. In the distance, thunder returns, soft at first, then closer. The sky above the canopy holds heavy clouds like a lid. The storm is coming. Near midnight, the Amazon changes again. The first sign is the air. It cools slightly just enough to feel different. Humidity thickens as if the forest is inhaling water. Then wind moves through the canopy. Leaves shiver. Branches sway. A brief silence forms like the jungle holding its breath. Thunder rolls. A deep drum, far away, approaching. And then the rain arrives. In the Amazon, rain does not fall politely. It crashes. Drops hit leaves like thousands of small impacts. Water pours from canopy to understory in sudden sheets, turning the forest into a vertical river. Paths disappear. Dry ground becomes mud. The smell of earth rises dark, rich, alive. This storm is not an interruption. It is the reset. Rain feeds the trees, fills streams, cools the world, reshapes routes, changes hunting geography in minutes. Many creatures vanish into shelter, but some rise with the rain. Frogs call louder, empowered by moisture. Temporary pools form where none existed nurseries, created by weather. The river swells slightly, carrying new scents downstream messages written in water. Somewhere in darkness, an anaconda may shift position, using floodwater to reach places it could not reach before. Storms open doors. Lightning flashes above the canopy. For a split second, the rainforest freezes in white light, every leaf sharp, every droplet suspended. Then darkness returns. Hours pass. Rain softens from crashing to breathing. The storm relaxes, and the forest exhales. Even after the sky calms, the canopy continues dripping one drop at a time like a slow clock. And then the horizon begins to pale. Mist rises from soaked leaves and warmed earth. The rainforest breathes again. Soon, howler monkeys will call across the canopy. Birds will test the air. Insects will rebuild their rhythm. The river will carry yesterday away and bring tomorrow in. Because the Amazon never sleeps. It only changes masks. It only turns the page. And as the first true light touches the canopy once more, you understand what one day here really means. Not a calm cycle, not a simple story, but an endless heartbeat, beating through heat, hunger, storm, and beauty, again and again, forever.